to block in terms of transformation agenda. You want to now use the budget to block them. You cannot stop the budget with all the issues you have actually raised, simply because you've got qualms
over a budget they didn't vote for. I hear what you are saying, Minister SG, but the crux of the matter is the DA still in the GNU, and can they continue participating in a government that they ultimately did not adopt its fiscal framework?
The ball is in their court. The ball is in their court. They've chosen the path. They must analyze and decide on implications. If you say you don't want a budget at all cost, you walk. And then nobody said you must walk. So now we have been given a burden to decide the DA fate in the GNU. It can't be our burden. They've decided. When you decide that I'm not coming to your wedding, it means you are not my friend any longer. You have chosen on a very critical moment that an important matter in my life where I'm getting married, you are not coming. Then it means we are no longer in good terms. You have chosen to walk away and all of that. It is their burden. They must answer it. If you don't participate in a process to formulate a budget and the budget is passed, what does it mean for you? You can't have it both sides. But it's not our burden. It's their burden. We have said to South Africa, and we are still committed to it. We are principled. We are committed to GNU and making it a point that GNU work for the stability of the country. We are not interested in running havoc and running down this economy that is already facing a number of challenges. With all the challenges and the madness we are seeing coming from elsewhere against our country, we are not interested in that. We are interested in building our country and not things to collapse. And then we are patriots. We don't have two passports. We've got one. We are South Africans. We want to work for our country and for the national interest of South Africa and make South Africa work. So we are very grateful with all political parties we have worked with up to this far, and we vow to work with them going forward and to continue to engage. It is possible that things can happen without the DA in this country if they choose to do so. If they choose not to be party for a program of progress for the country, South Africa will not be halted. We will move forward with all other political parties and patriots to make South Africa work.
So ultimately, the NEC may take a decision to kick out the DA, or the NEC may take a decision to say, no, we leave that ball to the Democratic Alliance to decide for itself.
We are not really so obsessed about the DA. We are concerned about the budget, that the budget must be passed, and that is what our discussion is going to be about. Why do you think the ANC will sit and discuss kicking out the DA? It is the DA that have made its own choices about either staying or going in the government of national unity. The ANC works for the government of national unity to work. And in this particular instance, we have gone out and engaged with political parties. And they have been very clear with us in terms of what they think needs to happen. And they've said that, look, we are opposed to VAT. And then we ourselves, we don't want VAT. We then said, let's look as to what needs to happen. So government must apply its mind, not arrogance. This is not a time for arrogance. It's a time to listen to each other. And government must listen to all voices. Of course, the difficulties that we are facing in terms of our high spending vis-a-vis low levels of revenue generation in terms of the economy, and our borrowing fizzling out and being exhausted. What is the balancing act that we want to bring? It looks like when VAT is introduced, there was a saying that it's not permanent. It's just to cushion us for a particular period of time. And then others listened to this. And then the DA chose to be a big brother in the whole scheme of things. And we can't have big brothers and be bullied by a 20% party. We can't. We are working for South Africa here. We can't be reminded by the DA that we didn't win elections. We know we didn't win elections. And that is why we chose the path of GNU to work with everybody. So we are very clear about what we are doing as a party and as an organization going forward, that we are in a situation where we need to nudge and listen to each other and make South Africa work. That's what is important. And if DA, they are real patriots, they must stop playing politics and want to win easy battles, over everything. They must work and show their mettle in their work in government and not delaying processes of social progress by seeking to win things through the back door. They shouldn't do that. But it's their choice. Even if they decide to go tonight, it will be their choice. We will move on. Government of National Unity, as it has been shown, it will not collapse. I've listened to Helen Zille. She says that Government of National Unity cannot continue without them. When they choose to leave, who said we must be halted? It is their choice. And they must not bring threats that are empty over things that they have actually manufactured themselves. They've chosen the tactics that they've actually employed and the machinations. They must live with them. Nobody said walk in the GNU, and nobody said we have won an election. We have not won an election. Are we desperate to pass the budget? Yes. We want to pass the budget to make our economy work. And we don't want this country to collapse, to become something else. But we can't be bullied by the DA as patriots and not listen to each other. They don't want to listen. You talk to them, you engage in informal discussions with them, they leak to the media. They are never genuine, because to them, we must be seen to be winners. At the end of the day, it's all about the DA emerging as a winner. Even when we are in the middle of a discussion and all of that, talking to them, I've talked through our negotiators and leading the ANC coalition arrangement. I've talked to many political parties on behalf of the ANC. They've been very respectful. They've been very respectful. They've respected. The ANC did not play big brother to them. They've said, ANC, this is what we want. This is what we stand for. Not even in a single day. I've seen a leak to the media that, no, we are this small political party, we are wielding power, we are holding the ANC back and all of that, chasing the headlines. You don't do that. We wouldn't have reached this stage if at Codesa every day there is a headline that must show the National Party and everybody winning. We wouldn't have reached that point. Of course, we have had to deal with the arrogance of the Nationalist Party at some point in the negotiations. And the arrogance of the DA needs to be tamed. They are arrogant. And that's all I can say. They are arrogant. They've got no respect. All what is important for them is that they must win and win and win. This is not a time of winning, because we all did not win in the elections. If we won, we would have done as we would have done before and moved ahead. Remember, we were at 2%. And then there was a gripe about VAT, we were at 0.5. And then the minister presented a balanced budget. Besides VAT, this budget is very good, everybody agrees. And then people continue to raise this concern. How do we find a solution to that? You can't find a solution by grandstanding. And that's what the DA has done thus far. So, as the ANC, we are going to discuss on Monday in our regular meeting, and then we'll reflect on the developments of the past week, and we'll continue to engage with political parties. We will report to the NEC. We will engage as well with our allies, COSATU, Communist Party and others. We will talk to religious bodies, SACC and all of that, engage with them, take their ideas on board, and also talk to business. It's very important that we must also hear the voice of business as much as we hear the voice of the trade unions. What is business saying? Business in terms of the organized banks in the country and everybody else who's got a stake as we move towards a national dialogue on issues that are like this, in particular the budget. What is the conversation around that? We don't have to listen to ourselves all the time. We are not just talking open-ended, we put solutions on the table. So we're looking forward to the next 5 days, 10 days going forward with eager, working with everybody as we move towards March, with all political parties in addressing matters with regard to the budget. We are on track as a party. We managed to work with everybody to pass the framework this past week, which has been very good. With everybody we are working with. In itself, it's not an end, but it's not a victory yet to be celebrated. We need to work for South Africa and work for national interest of all South Africans and make our economy work to create jobs and to advance growth. That's what is important.
So essentially, Mr. Mbalula, Monday is an ordinary NEC meeting. You're not discussing other political formations, just essentially the budgetary aspect of the fiscal framework and how you are going to close the deficit shortfall of about 32 billion rands in the South African budget.
We are discussing and will be giving a report in terms of our discussions with other political parties. We have a team of coalitions in the ANC and the GNU that is led by the Secretary General. That team has been working. We have been accounting to the officials of the ANC, led by the President. We will meet on Monday to look at the report and the perspective, and also at the implications of this moment, and then we'll report to the National Executive Committee. We will engage from there with our allies as well, so that we don't only talk at the tip of the decision making, but in the process of what we're doing, we will be doing that. It is not the DA, the topic. The question is, how do we pass the budget? That's what is important to us. The DA, we engage with them, we talk with them. They play politics all the time. The most important question we have seen now, they are South Africans of goodwill who want this country to succeed. So we can't close our eyes and ears from others. We need to talk to them. And then we've got them in Parliament, and we are together. We are not a big brother. We work with everybody for the stability of this economy and this country. And men and women, through their political parties, have emerged beyond the DA. We will continue to talk to the DA and all of that and everybody else. That we are not closing. We are not putting conditions. The threats that have been thrown up by the DA through their national chairperson, that there can't be government without them and all of that. I mean, who said they can't be? They are in government. They must understand what is the responsibility of being in government. They've acted outside that government from the beginning. And they continue to define themselves outside that government. So if you think that this government doesn't work for you, you've got a choice to stay or to walk. And that is it. And we have always said to them that we as the ANC, we are committed to GNU. GNU will not collapse. If the DA were to decide to go, it won't collapse. Because South Africans of goodwill who want to contribute to the running of this country and to its success are out there. They are ready to work in the GNU and to work with the ANC-led GNU going forward. But they've raised their issues sharply. They have said to us, we don't agree with VAT. We've got not just reservations, even our allies have spoken about VAT. So we must find solutions going forward. And that's what the ANC will preoccupy itself about, not the DA.
Action says President Herman Mashaba says he's ready for the executive. Have you extended a cabinet reshuffle towards them and your friends in the form of Julius Malema? I see he's very eager as well to get those blue lights.
Well, they didn't even vote with us, and that is it. And so we are not discussing positions. We have had a very decent and good discussion with Action SA. They've shown their mantle that they love this country. And that's what we respect them for, not positions. And that's what is important for us going forward.
Cabinet reshuffle on the cards?
We can't talk reshuffle on the cards. It can even happen tonight. but at the end of the day is what informed that reshuffle. At the present moment, the most important issue for all South Africans is to pass in the budget, not a reshuffle of cabinet. That's not the priority. All what South Africans will celebrate is when the budget is passed and proper allocations are made, and that we are advancing growth and job creation through the passing of the budget. All other shenanigans and machinations, we can handle them. Like I tell you, if anyone leaves and choose to leave, it is their choice. They will be replaced in the government of national unity and will move on. So we hear pronouncements of political parties who are not their spokespersons. That's what they want. The ANC is engaging on the issue of the budget to achieve the required result to make South Africa work. Sorry?
Free State
Intoni inzomi? No. Asiphathanga inzomi, siphethe into ebambekayo. So we've got something that is tangible, that is about our country, and which is this budget. And we will differentiate in time as to who's got the interest of the people at heart, and so on. So we are not about grandstanding, that we grandstand, that we can do this, we can do that. We are about serving the people of South Africa and making it a point that the budget is passed on their behalf and for their own interest.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fikile Mbalula. That is the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, essentially wrapping up and saying that they are not about grandstanding.